The world has been rebuilt after the events of Secret Wars. The X-Men faces extinction as the inhuman Terrigen Mist covers the entire world. No new mutants are born, but the remaining mutants, such as Rogue of the X-Men, now with the Avengers Unity Squad, are facing rapid deterioration down to a cellular level. Charles Xavier's legacy, the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, is no longer safe on Earth. Magic, with the help of some of the most powerful magicians on Earth, has moved the X-Men School, now called X-Haven, to Limbo, where mutants are protected from an uncertain future. The only catch is, the school is literally in hell, with only the X-Men magic to ward off the residents of hell itself. Aurora Monroe, designated Storm of the X-Men, has taken on leadership of Xavier's fractured team. From Hell itself, joined by Colossus, past Jean Grey, Magic, Forge, and Iceman, these extraordinary X-Men will embark on a mission for the preservation of their species. Their adventures led them to an old friend long thought dead. This is not the Wolverine you knew and loved. This is another Wolverine you knew and loved. After Battleworld ended, Old Man Logan found himself in the Prime Universe. He struggles with finding his way in this new world, and he fears being close to his friends, whom he killed with his own claws. But this is an all-new, all-different X-Men, and his friends are still alive, so he reluctantly joins the ranks of the Extraordinary X-Men under Storm's leadership. With the help of Old Man Logan, the Extraordinary X-Men takes on the demons of hell and rescue their teammate Nightcrawler from the grasp of Mr. Sinister himself. Things are starting to settle down, but the X-Men are never that lucky. The villain Sugar Man resurfaced with a few artificially grown new mutants. The X-Men caught wind of his plans and intervened. Sugar Man is captured, but during the battle, he sends Colossus with a few X-students to the far future. The rest of the X-Men gives chase, but when they arrive in the future, they find the students all grown and weathered, and a not-so-friendly steel giant with 3 unnamed allies. He states, "To me, my horsemen." Homo Superior is at a crossroads, teetering on the edge of a blade. The Terrigen Mists, sweeping across the world, are toxic to their kind. Mutants aren't just fighting for civil rights anymore, they are fighting for their lives. As the situation becomes increasingly dire, the truth becomes more evident. Bigger threats require more threatening X-Men. Eric Lanshear, designated Magneto, is no saint. He fought the X-Men more times than we can count. But his friend, Charles Xavier, is gone, and now he will need to ally himself with a few unusual combats if he is to come out of this war unscathed and with his life. With the help of Psylocke, Sabretooth, the Archangel, and Monet, Magneto intercepted a suspicious cargo carrying mutants who paid to enter a state of suspended animation, hoping to one day awaken a world free from the Terrigen Mist. As per Magneto's demands, these mutants are forced from their stasis sleep and thrown into an unknown future in the real world. One mutant is a healer, and hours after his encounter with the Uncanny X-Men, he cures a woman who he came across. His display of power has attracted a group of mutant killers called the Dark Riders. They kill the men, and thus, their hunt for all mutant healers begins. The Uncanny X-Men caught wind of this murder and chased the Dark Riders, but they are always one step ahead. You see, this band of mutant killers are only after the healers. The strong must survive. Natural selection must take place. Healers are an abomination to the evolution of Homo Superior, a cancer that must be cleansed. Joshua Foley, designated Elixir of the New Mutants, is a healer, but his abilities will be his downfall as the Dark Riders cut through Joshua on their quest to rid the world of mutant healers. Their mission of chaos takes them to the X-Men healer Zorn, but his abilities prove too formidable. Meanwhile, Magneto intercepted a mutant healer, Christopher Muse, designated Triage of Scott Summers' New Mutants. He reluctantly accepts the protection offer, and as fate would have it, the Dark Riders came for the young mutant healer in Magneto's own sanctuary, the island of Genosha. The two sides engage in epic battle over the mutant's Triage. Magneto and his team strikes down the Riders one by one, and, as an example of his might, the Master of Magnetism blows up the island of Genosha, ensuring the death of their foe. When asked why he destroyed his own sanctuary, Magneto states that the destruction of Genosha is a warning to the world. Magneto is still a player to the events that will unfold. The original X-Men were plucked from the past and brought to the present in hopes of reminding their future selves of the optimism and promise they once embodied. But trapped in the present, these all-new X-Men found themselves in a time when mutants are hated and feared more than ever. Determined to right their wrongs and prove to themselves that the future still has hope, they've teamed up with the all-new Wolverine, ID Okonkwo, and Kid Apocalypse to set out across the world to pursue Charles Xavier's vision for a better tomorrow, and to leave behind a legacy that they can be proud of. Young Scott, after the trauma of knowing that his present self is dead, leaves his teammates to chase down those that would deface his future reputation. He comes across a mutant activist group who calls themselves the Ghost of Cyclops. These are teenage rebellious mutants that have nothing better to do with their time. They chose to idolize the man Scott will become, the face of the mutant revolution. But they are new at this, and they are going up against the all-new X-Men. The journey stops when the two teams are up against the police, but the X-Men escaped and would go on to confront the Blob and the Toad in Paris. The story is still ongoing at the time of this video, so I can't dive any deeper at the moment. The all-new Wolverine and Old Man Logan have their own series, but they are present in the all-new X-Men and the Extraordinary X-Men comic series. Present-day Hank McCoy has left the X-Men after a large argument with his teammates. He will be with the Inhuman comic series, so we won't know if he will make an appearance or not. Present-day Scott Summers was last seen killed by Dr. Doom during the Secret Wars, but post-Secret Wars, Scott is said to have been killed when he went up against the Inhumans. Either physical injury or the Terrigen Mist, we don't know how he died, but he is gone, leaving young Cyclops to fill his shoes. The Archangel will be a major player in the upcoming event. He is a mindless killing machine, only listening to his love, Psylocke. But how much longer can she control him? Kid Apocalypse is only a clone of his namesake, but he is an Omega level mutant that has the potential for good or evil, so we can expect to see this clone play a major role. So now you are all caught up with the major players and the X-Men story arcs that will lead into the Apocalypse War. Stay tuned to Comic Island as we cover this event. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another Comic Island video.